Spirit brought me here to be different for a reason. It brought me here to bring, you know, uniqueness. I'm sorry, I don't feel like I'm gonna get emotional. But Spirit brought me here to bring uniqueness, to speak my truth, to bring light, love, compassion to to others where people lack giving it, and to rebel, to bring a uniqueness, to shake shit up, to go against the social constructs, you know? And y'all, it's not easy, walking in this walk of being different. It's like, I'm not saying I'm different because I want to be different. I'm different because I actually am different, you know? You ever just felt like you just never really had like a sense of belonging here? Like, you ever just felt like so different? You ever just felt like you thought and you think different and you go about things differently? I've always felt that. I've always felt since I was a little girl, since I could remember, just coming into this world and just looking at it, looking at how people go about it, looking at how people treat each other, and just looking at it from a different lenses, like I was almost observing, like, this world, like I just came here to observe this world, and just feeling just so different, you know? And also, like, you know, when I was younger, I just realized, like, how I could pick up on different energies, even like family members, going around certain family members and, going to school. It's like just picking up on energies, you know, people not having to say things out of their mouth, but it's just like I almost just felt it, just being like this sponge. And, it really, like, it made me feel different. You know, I just always just seeing things in a different way, through a different lenses, ever since I was younger, and being able to see things from the different lens that others are not able to see out of, because some of us, we wear a different lens from others, you know. We're able to see things in a different way. We're able to pick up on things, and we just have this sensitivity. And that's just always been me. It's always been me. And I just remember just being a younger girl and just being able to realize from a young age on how this world just needs more love, compassion. It needs, you know, more, it needs to give more permission to others to express and to be like their individual self. And I just realized from a young age on how the world lacked that, from my peers, from family members. I just seen, and just from experiences, period. I just seen like how this world lacked that, you know, from being bullied when I was in elementary school. I was what, in first grade, from being bullied, just because I had a differentness to me, you know, I had a differentness to me. I wasn't the child that was, outgoing. I wasn't the child I could be, to people I felt more comfortable with. But I just wasn't that child that fit in. I had to like stand up for myself. I had to stand up towards my bullies. And, it made, eventually, it's like, knowing that you're different when you're young, but not knowing to how to like really express that, not really seeing that, when you're a child, you don't really know. You know you're different. You know you think differently, but it's like it's hard to express that. And for me, like, you know, when you don't have a family that like understands that, it's like you it's like you have to catch up. It's like you're not from this world, but it's like, okay, now I gotta try to blend in and, in a way, come a part of it, you know, and that has always been a struggle for me. And it's still a struggle for me sometimes, but I'm learning to embrace it more, you know, and knowing that, now knowing that, hey, I don't belong here. Like, this is new for me. This is like where am I? You know what I mean? That's how I feel. And, going through that, like as a child, like when you realize like, okay, I gotta, not lose myself completely, but I gotta fit in. Sometimes it makes you suppress yourself. And sometimes you lose yourself along the way because you get you associate yourself with friends, people that you feel understands you, but they only really understand you. And it's like, even though you become part of these social groups or, a friend group, it's like you still, it's like, even though I got people around me, even though I got somebody to call, even though I got somebody to go hang out with, you just still feel alone. You still feel alone. You still feel not heard. It's like you still have all of this to you that you just want to let out. But it's like, who to let it out to? Where to let it out to? And that can be frustrating, That can be frustrating because it's like I have so much to give. But it's like, who is going to be willing to accept that? Who is going to be willing to receive that? And now that I'm much more mature and I have a more spiritual understanding of this, it's like, I am different. I really don't belong here. Spirit placed me here for a reason. Spirit brought me here to be different for a reason. It brought me here to bring, uniqueness. I'm sorry, I don't feel like I'm gonna get emotional. But Spirit brought me here to bring uniqueness, to speak my truth, to bring light, love, compassion to to others where people lack giving it, and to rebel, to bring a uniqueness, to shake shit up, to go against the social constructs, and y'all, it's not easy, walking in this walk of being different. It's like, I'm not saying I'm different because I want to be different. I'm different because I actually am different, and sometimes it can be a lonely journey. Sometimes it can be a lonely journey. You know, people that you think that accept you for who you are, they become jealous of you because of your differentness, because you don't go with the flow and the beat of the drum that everybody else goes to. You would rather go to your own flow and your own beat. People become jealous of that. So sometimes you really don't even have real friends, you know. They say they appreciate it, but they don't, you know, because you start showing them how not different that they are, you know, and your light and your authenticity and your compassion and your resilience and strength, you know, starts to irritate the demons that they have within them. I had to go take a little yeah. It starts to irritate, you know, the demons that they have within them. And, you know, for a long time, I'm just like, what is it? What is it? You know? And I'm just here to tell y'all. And look, this is also me telling myself, like, you know, you are chosen. You're chosen. You were sent here to make a change, to make a difference. You were not sent here to fit in. You were sent here to stand out and to speak truth in life, you know, bring life back to this earth. And, you know, don't feel as if something is wrong with you, because everything is right with you. Everything. You wasn't sent here to follow the social constructs. You were sent here to be proof, to be a living proof that there's, to show, to be example that you can come here and to create free will. You can come here to be your individual self. You can come here to express, to create free will, to create sovereignty, love, abundance, and that you don't need a whole pack of people to do that. Not saying that, you know, you cannot work alongside others, but, you know, also learning to embrace who you are. It's taken me a minute to do that, and to honestly to come to see, you know, who I really am. As you start to accept that, as you start to embrace that, then you can call in more people like yourself, your tribe, your soul tribe, you know, and more like-minded people. So I'm just here to tell you and to remind myself that I am not alone. You know, I was sent here on a mission. You know, that's why I'm different. You know, I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. Hey, I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. Hey. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with it. And you know, you start to think something is wrong with you, because, like, you know, people, you know, they fall off. Like, you know, I've been hurt in the past by just having people just, like, you know, just literally cut me off, ghost me. And, you know, the reason why that happens is because those people are not worthy of your presence. you know. Those, don't feel like you're missing out on something, and don't feel like you're not good enough, because it's not that you're not good enough. It's your ancestors and your spiritual guide and its source saying that those people are not good enough, that they gotta go. So, sometimes we wonder, like, what is it? Why, am I not accepted into like certain, in certain places, or with certain people, or, what is it about me? It's because, you need that time. Source, your spiritual family, your spiritual guides, your angels need you to be in solitude. They need you to be quiet within self, so that you can unlock and you can awaken to what it really is. And that's what it took me. I was just wondering, I'm like, what the heck? Where are these people going? What did I do? I didn't do nothing. It's just my spiritual team and my ancestors and source. They working in the background, clearing out way, clearing out way, clearing out the people that cannot come along, that just can't come along. So the next time you feel as if you're not worthy, and like your uniqueness is a curse, it's not. It's actually your biggest blessing. It's your biggest blessing, because you were sent here that way, purposely, to make a change. Because this world is full of mannequins. Everybody is doing the same thing, saying the same thing, listening to the same thing, wearing the same thing. People think that they are so different when they're not, So keep being different. Keep being you. Keep embracing that part of you. And you're going to do nothing but attract the people that see you for who you are. It's your girl, Dime Aki. And I hope this message was able to uplift someone. And thank you for your time and your energy. Peace and be blessed. I'm a freak. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong.